first of all, your daughters, twins.
Yeah.
How old are they again?
Twins are 3.5. They're about to be potty trained, so life's about to get good there.
Do they have a bat in their hand yet?
We've been swinging a little bit, not much. We go outside.
Lefty or righty?
Well, Reese is lefty. Our little blonde curly head, little feisty one's lefty, but Blair, or she's lefty. Blair's a righty, and then our 9-year-old Paisley's a righty too. So,
thrower? I know Paisley's a righty thrower, but
yeah,
she's
I don't know
a lefty
about the
hitter. Are you gonna force that? Like, would
Nope.
you force that or no?
She's a righty hitter, so I didn't force it. I just, whatever way she picked it up, I just
Seriously.
I know. I probably should have.
You believe in that?
Not really, no. Well, I don't know with softball.
Or would you just go?
I'm new to this stuff with softball, so I'm just like, I don't think it's that big of an advantage with the pitcher down here. It's not like it's not like back in our day. It's like arm side coming behind you and stuff. So
it's not as important, you think?
No, not in my.
But I think too though, like Paisley's with a lefty hitter, she could also be a slapper one day.
She could be. She's a righty though, so.
She's a righty hitter.
Yeah.
I thought she was a lefty hitter.
Nope. I never forced her to bat left. So.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So
I thought she was a lefty.
No, and she did a little bit, picked it up, but it was just awkward. So I was like, nope. And then she hit like 2 or 3 balls, just like missiles, just like jumped off the bat, and I was like, she needs to stay right side.
Okay.
So I kept her right, and I didn't force it. So.
Well, and you, in a sense, like how early did she pitch? Because she's a pitcher.
Yeah, she started when. Now, I'm a little crazy parent here. I only did 1 year of T-ball. Then I was like, at 6, I started her with coach pitch because I was like, man, this is a waste of time, the T-ball was. And we were already hitting in the backyard flips, so I was like, she'll be fine. And then she did a coach pitch at 7, and then at 8, we put her into kid pitch. So, kid pitch at 8. So I started pitching with her when she was 7, a year before that, when we started.
Well, my thing is like,
and she didn't throw live to a hitter for over a year, because it's like it's a different motion. So, like that was my biggest concern. It was like it's not I mean, it's a more natural motion. It's easier on the arm, but it's
the release.
It's not over the top where we're just playing catch.
Right.
So it's like there's a lot of technique, and it's like you got to break. I took a biomechanics class at Purdue, and we talked about I'm no biomechanics major here, but we talked about degrees of freedom, and like. The more you do a skill and get repetitious, more fluid you'll become at that skill.
And the first state is mechanical.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, what
are
are the
robots.
stages there?
I don't remember the stages. I just remember we did an experiment with juggling, and we took like kids that never juggled before. We had to go through campus when I was at Purdue, and you find, have you ever juggled before? No, I literally have not. And you watch them, and it's just like robotical, just even with 2 balls. It's like they just can't get the timing down. We had to scaffold everything and build it up. And it's kind of like what we do with skill work. Even in the classroom, as a math teacher, everything's just, scaffold to the next level. But in biomechanics wise, like just your fluidity comes with just, you get release of they call it degrees. Once you get more degrees of freedom, you just get more fluid and easier moving.
Right.
Your timing's better. It becomes natural. It doesn't become where it's forced and you have to think about it. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where it is in pitching. And then just as you do with skill work, it's always like, there's like your swing or your windmill is never the same. Like your pitch, it's never the same. It's like it's fluid. It's always changing. Like there's little things that you pick up in your swing. It's like, oh, I'm pushing my hands a little too much, or I'm casting out. Same thing with pitching. Like I'm not tight with my windmill. My arms getting out. It's very similar to pitching over the top.
Really?
Like her timing was really off. Like her pre-pitch or her movement that she does before she gets going, she was rushing and her hands were late. Well, just like when we do with pitching. If your arms are late pitching, you're going to miss arm side or you're going to miss up. It's the same thing when she's pitching underhand. She's missing up and she's missing arm side. So I was like, Paisley, you got to slow your hands down. And I'm no pitching coach, but like to me it was like slow your hands down, gather, lead with your hands first, down, out, up, get out first, and then you'll be online. And then this weekend she just killed it. She got back, she got her mechanics figured out again. But it's like it's always that. I always feel like your swing's always changing or your windmill's always changing. It's never the same.
I always think about, because I see hitters obviously weekly, but some hitters will come in one day totally different, and the next week they're different again. So like I have to be adaptable as a trainer too to be able to figure out who said what or you thought this to do this and compensate for this, right? So it's always just a revolving door, and it seems like. But even like I tell kids, like, dude, you sat in a classroom, you might have been sitting on your right butt cheek all day, and now you're now you're
No,
tight in this, and so
I
you
agree.
compensate for that, and so it's like just a butterfly effect through the whole thing. But my thing with softball is, with pitching and baseball, there's different slots.
Yeah.
Right. There's different timings. There's different motions, and like for me with softball, isn't it? Again, I've never hit against a live pitcher. I don't know, but it's the same slot for every pitcher,
Pretty
right?
much. Now, there are a few pitches that aren't the same. And again, I'm no expert because I'm new to the softball game, but you're literally releasing from the same point. Like we talk about your focal point in baseball being like, the logo on the hat, and softball, I just make it her belt. And then I'm
Right.
just picking up the window there,
Right there.
every time. But like there'll be times when she's like, instead of being here tight to her leg, she'll be out here. And there are pitches that are different.
You're almost
that
looking
do
at
that.
the waist.
You're looking at the belt. You're looking at the
That's
waist or the belly
crazy
button,
to
and then you
think
just pick up the window.
That's crazy to think about. And
Like,
it's
to me-
and it's coming upwards.
And I
more
think
than
that's
downwards though, right?
yeah, and I think that's the toughest thing. Like it's hard to lay off high pitches, and then
Right.
it's hard to get on plane with a high pitch.
Right.
I mean, like feel and real, as we know, are two different things. Like to hit a high pitch, it's almost like you got to tomahawk it.
Right.
Because if you don't, if you're steep at all, or if your launch is a little too high,
Your chances are very slim.
yeah, like that ball's going here and your barrel's going up. That's like you got no chance.
And
of
it's
contact.
crazy because the most common thing is people dumping. I feel
yeah.
like and going up,
Oh yeah.
right, for a hitter.
Yep.
So that I agree. Like, and it's just really real versus feel. It's like I feel like I'm above the ball. And one of my thing, even for like the little kids in machine pitch, is we work on high things, like high pitches.
Yeah.
And our cue is like swing above the ball.
Yeah.
Literally, swing above the ball. And they find the barrels like, oh. And I'm like, so if you see it high, what are you gonna do? Swing above.
Swing above the ball.
Like literally.
Yeah.
And I know big leaguers talk about that too, right?
Yeah. Or like you do drill work where you just bury the ball on the ground. Like if you're real steep, it's like just get back to getting overcompensate.
Exactly. To find the middle.
To find the middle ground.
The
Like,
180.
like-
You're doing this, and so we gotta think this to get to here.
Exactly.
Period.
Like just overdo it, and then it'll clean itself up, hopefully, in the end. So
Either way, I wanted to kind of, I want you to introduce yourself in the sense of your career, in the sense of where you've been from high school on,
yeah.
in the sense of you and who Andy is, period.
Okay.
So in a short paragraph, who is Andy and what was the career like, and then we'll reverse back.
Grew up, born and raised, Hutchinson, Kansas. Parents are both phenomenal athletes. Came from a family with great athletes. My mother was, she was the all-time single game scoring leader at Wichita State. She was a multi-sport athlete at Wichita State. Father was a dirtbagger type of baseball player. He was a multi-sport high school athlete, heck of a basketball player in high school too, and ended up playing at K-State as middle infielder at K-State. So
He's a tall middle infielder, by the way.
yeah, 6'1",
Which is
6'1".
cool.
His story's
Oh,
pretty
he's
good.
6'1"?
He's 6 foot, 6'1".
Oh,
but
really? I thought he was taller
his
than that.
story's pretty good though, man, because he, I was fortunate enough to be recruited and to be, I was pursued in junior college. I wanted to go D1 out of high school, and I'll get to that. I didn't get that opportunity, but my dad, he walked on with 100, 120 guys at K-State, and it's just. That's back in late 70s, early 80s. That's what guys did. I mean, they all walked on. He wanted to play at the big school. They give you an opportunity.
Here's tryouts.
His tryouts, and there's about 7 tryouts,
Come to
and he made them all.
Yeah.
And he gets in. Finally, he gets in a series, and it's like, hey, the guy's struggling at second. They're like, Preston, you play second base. He's like, I've played every day of my life. He hadn't played second base. He was a left side guy. He was a third baseman and shortstop in high
Right.
school. So he's over here working on his double play footwork.
Right.
He doesn't do any reps in practice over there, but he's not going to tell the coach you can't.
Right.
He goes in. I think he gets 3 hits that day. He's in the lineup again, gets another 2 hits the next day. He never came out of the lineup.
Beautiful.
As a walk-on, he started 2 years. He always gives me grief because he hit over 300 in Division I baseball, and I never did. So he always hangs that against me. So, but no,
That's
I
good.
came. So looking back now, my upbringing probably isn't the same as everybody else's, but mother was extremely loving. My dad was very fiery, competitive. He pushed me really hard. It was never a situation where it was like you have to go out and work and do all this stuff. There'd be times where he'd be like, do you really want, what is your dream or what is your goal or what do you want to do? And it's like, I want to be a Major League Baseball player. And he's like, well, if you want to do that, you're going to have to put the work in. And so he built a cage in my backyard. I had a full court basketball court in my backyard too as a kid. It was cool.
the cage chain link?
It was not chain link.
Okay.
But it was,
okay,
we
okay.
had wood beams.
Okay.
I don't know if it was because we didn't want to spend the money on the metal beams, but we put up 2x4 boards. We You know,
Just rigged it.
We rigged it up. We had like 3 of them stacked up, and they warped really bad. It looked terrible, but the cage hung just perfect.
Worked.
Yep, and we wore those nets out, man. I mean, we got a new net like every 2 years because I was just hitting like 300-400 balls a day. I mean, it was just
Monster.
My dad threw like 200 balls a day to me. Like this guy still does. I mean, he's 70, you know, in his 70s right now, and he's throwing 300 balls a day. Mount Ridge High School as a head baseball coach, at least 300 balls a day. He's just got a rubber arm, man. He's just all day.
That's wild.
Like we'll be playing Black Sox, and he'll be like, "I'll throw you some beeps. Let's go get some beeps." And it's just like good old times, man. So, so went to Beeler High School. You know, had a really good high school career. I was very fortunate enough. Mark Stanford was starting up Sluggers at the time, and we had a really good summer team that I was on in Wichita. And all of us got together. Mark got us together, and he started us with a showcase. And that was like really my first like understanding or first experience with there's some really good baseball players out here, and I've got to get a lot better. Mm-hmm. I can still remember I was 16. It still gives me like some PTSD to this day. Mark takes us up. It's our first games with Sluggers. He takes us up to like Park Hill or Park College. It's like it's like north of Kansas City. I can still remember it. We drive 3.5 hours up there. He didn't tell us it was 18 and under. And like all these guys, back when we played showcase, like when you're on a showcase team, it was either you're going like high level JC or you're D1. Like every guy.
Right.
So we're seeing guys going like Missouri, Oklahoma State.
Oh yeah.
You know, Southwest Missouri State is what it was called back then. Missouri State. You know, SEMO. Like there's dudes going everywhere. Southern Illinois, like Missouri Valley guys, and just like it was just like I'm out of my league. It was uncomfortable. It was depressing, to be honest with you, Phil. It was like, man, it was humbling. It was like, man, I'm not very good. And it's like one of those things.
So you were a sophomore
at
the time?
Yeah, and I was really good. Like I think I was all state, a 3-hole hitter. I mean, I started varsity as a freshman at a 5A school, and we were going against, you know, CTLs, you know, Chisholm Trail Leagues, you know, Goddard's 6A1 school, Mays is 6A1 school, Andover's 5A1 school. So we got like, you know, Valley Center's loaded with D1 guys.
Wait, you were in that league?
Yeah, so we were in that league.
Beeler was in that league?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, the CTL, that was Division I, and then Augusta was really good back then too. And you know, you got Wellington down there, the Corneos and those guys. So like it was a solid league, but I just never experienced that kind of pitching, that kind of competitiveness. It was all across. It was encompassing. It wasn't just like one D1 guy on the team. It was like 9 or 10.
Right.
And it was just like,
you
men.
got boppers,
they were
throwers.
men. They were men.
Yeah.
And I remember that first day I came home, I was like crying. I was in tears. Telling my parents, man, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, man. This is not fun. I don't even want to go back because we didn't stay up there. We drove back.
Right.
Mom and Dad's like, get your butt back in the van. You're going back up again tomorrow. And it got better, but I didn't hit well, and that was the first time I had dealt with like failure.
Right.
You know, and it's like, man, I'm getting just blown away at the plate.
Right.
Can't hit a ball at the infield. It feels like. But what really gave me the confidence is we go play the last day of this tournament. We play. It was like Midwest Prospects, Midwest Nationals 18, and this team had guys going to Arizona State. I mean, they were dudes. And I pitched in that game, and I think we end up losing that game. Like we're up like 2-0 in the fifth. We lose that game like 3-2. They hit a couple monster bombs off me, and but that gave me the confidence right there. I was like, dude, I can get guys out. I can play at this level. And then from that point on, it was like I wasn't. When we came back and started playing local tournaments, it was like I just dominated. It was like I had the confidence.
Right.
So I always feel like in my career it was a lot of like I was a big doubter.
Right.
You know, and we talk about on our team at Mays South when I'm coaching guys, it's like you either go to like pout mode, excuse mode, doubt, quit mode. And my biggest one, my sports psychologist that talked with me at Purdue, I was just the doubt. Like I just didn't feel like I could do it a lot of times. And it's just like it just takes either belief of you doing it or like somebody else believing in you that really believed in you as a player. And Mark was one of those guys that did that. My dad was too, but it's got to be someone else other than your parents, I always think, that really like pulls for you, believes in you. And we grew, and I'll tell you this, that was the best thing, those 3 summers with Mark playing high-level showcase ball. It was crazy, some of the talent we saw, man. We were seeing first-rounders. There'd be guys like Scott Elbert's throwing like 96, and we don't see him next week. And we're like, where's that guy at? And he's like, well, he's in Vero Beach with the Dodgers, man. He just signed for like $3.5 million. We're like, what? Because like, like the draft wasn't on TV. We didn't have Twitter, any of that stuff.
Right.
And then I remember DeWitt hitting a bomb off of Bohannon at Free State, and Ryan's like the top arm in our area. He's like low 90s, good 2-seamer.
He was at Mays. No,
Goddard guy.
Goddard, that's
Campus went to Goddard. I mean,
That's
he was a free. I mean, he started in Nebraska his freshman year, College World Series, hit a home run. Like he was a stud. And like DeWitt's just turning around a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, high school.
It's just
turning
different.
around, and he doesn't just turn around. He hits it through. It's like going up through the trees in right center. And like that guy's gone, and we're like, where's he at? Oh, he's first rounder too. He got signed too. So it was crazy back then. We didn't understand that. But then when he got to high school ball, it was just like, this is easy.
Wow.
It was easy for us. So like that was like Mark putting that team together. That like kind of propelled my career that I could play at the next level. And then I would say like my sophomore year, I haven't got into this. I tear my labrum my sophomore year pitching right over here at West Urban, man, on Adams Field. I can still remember that. And that kind of changed my trajectory because I was kind of a two-way guy. I was like one of our top arms, and my future probably was going to be on the mound. I love pitching, man.
Right.
Like if I could do anything again in the game, I would love just get on the mound and pitch, or not get hurt and see what happened. Because
Right.
in high school I was a $175, dripping wet,
Right.
6'4", long, lanky guy,
Oh, yeah.
man. I mean, it's a scout's,
Getting downhill.
coach's dream right there. Just
Right.
wanting a guy with 3/4 arm slot, whippy arm, and just
Moving well.
tons of arm movement or tons of movement on the ball and a good breaking ball. So, I never came back and pitched, and then recruiting kind of died off. I was getting some D1 looks, and they kind of just backed away. It was just didn't have any offers, just preferred walk-ons, and I was a Juco guy, and I really thought that summer I was like, man, I'm going to get some D1 offers. It's going to come this summer. Like somebody's going to pick me up late. It never happened. So I had signed with Garden City. It was a great school. It was a great fit. It was a phenomenal program. The reason I signed there is because we had an indoor facility. We could go hit anytime we wanted. I mean, it was at Garden.
Garden?
Yeah, and Coach Sabbath was a great recruiter. He brought in some really good players there. I remember going on my visit. It was different when I went to Garden City. I took a ton of visits, Cali, Barton, Cali, a lot of schools that I went to, and it was like Garden City's the place, man. Like their kids were like competitive. They were working all the time, and it just kind of fit my mantra, what I wanted
Right.
to do. I was like, man, I'm a grinder, man. I love this game.
Right.
Like I was obsessed with the game at that point in my life, and I was like, ain't nothing gonna hold me back from being a D1 guy and being a professional baseball player. So
Right.
I ended up signing there, end up going there, and I was, to be honest with you, I was really disappointed when I had to go there.
Was that just ego for you?
No,
or
it was
it
was
that
like
you
I really
that
thought
you
it was
were
going to be
better?
Division I.
Right.
And like I was like our best hitter, like 16 years old, 17, 18. Every year I was the best hitter on our sluggers team. We had like 8 D1 guys in those teams, 7 or 8 guys.
Name me some of those guys you played with on
So
that
like
Sluggers team.
Deke Scram.
Yes.
Deke and I, my daughter just played with his daughter's team.
And
in
he's your
softball.
age. So this
Deke's a year older than me actually.
Okay.
So he's one above. But that was our best team. My 17-year-old team was our best team. We had like Deke Scram, Ryan Bohannon's my age. He's a class of 04. Travis Banwart,
Yep.
Tyler Weber. Marcus.
Travis went to Japan eventually. Played for the A's, right?
Yeah. And Travis was our number 1 guy. He was our dude on the bump.
He was a
in my
dude.
class, and I was our second guy. It was
Wow.
like him and I. And then I never pitched again after that 16-year-old season. But we had him, and then we had Marcus Lara was a great player. Mike McDonald, big guy.
He was on your team, Mike?
Mike was.
No way.
Yep, Mike could swing it. Mike was natural, man. Like I don't think he ever lifted a weight in his life. Never did a band or anything. And then you got Marcus here doing everything he can. Marcus's dad's got him doing bands when he's like 8 or 9 years old, and the guy's like 5'9", throwing like 85 miles an hour in
Right.
high school with a 12-6 hammer. Like
Wow.
he had stuff, and I'm leaving off a lot of good players, man. Like Touche was on that team. Kyle
Touche.
had nasty
He's
stuff.
an A's.
No, he was.
No, Goddard.
He's a Goddard guy,
Goddard.
and then he transferred to Heights. Played with those guys over there. Eric Smith came on our team too. He's a Mays guy. Played at K-State. Like we were just loaded, man. We had dudes. Like I remember Derek Norris. He came up with us when he was like 16 and played a couple times. Millville would come play with us sometimes and fill in and help out.
So Millville was younger and
He's
Derek's
a year younger. Yeah, and Derek's I think 2.
Okay.
And I remember Derek.
Those guys had it.
They were good, but they had to clear hurdles too. That's what people don't
Right.
understand. Like Derek struggled with not handling success. He just couldn't. He had trouble with that, man.
Right.
He just couldn't accept getting out and not getting hit every time. And obviously he got over that.
Right. Right.
But it's just like I think a lot of kids today, they don't understand. Like all of us that played at the next level, we've all gone through everything you've gone through
Right.
in your life too. And we've experienced it all too. So if you just listen to how we felt that And this is what we found out about that. If you could listen to some of these guys, it may help you on your path and your journey too. But I went to Garden. I was disappointed when I went there, man. I just was like down. I was like, man, this sucks. I got to go to Juco. I got to drive 3 hours out to the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And prior to that, I mean, if you would have gone back 6 months earlier, I'd have been excited. I was like, man, this is great.
Right.
This is going to be what I want. And I went out there with the wrong attitude. And I got humbled up real quick. I mean, I think the first 2 weeks there, I don't remember getting a hit, striking out a bunch, not playing well. My mind wasn't in the right space. I couldn't hit. Guys were bigger than me. And
Right.
I thought going in, it was like, oh, Juco will be easy because all these guys went Division I, you know, here on our summer
And
team.
you
And
played with all these
I played with them. I was a great player too.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll be great too, and this won't be that big of a deal. But what we fail to understand is they're guys that are already there. And they've been through it already a year, and they're
Right.
older, they're bigger, they're stronger, and they're not going to just give up their time for you.
They've adjusted the speed.
Yeah, and it's a mindset too. And like I went in, my mind wasn't in the right spot, and I remember crying on the phone to my dad. I was like, man, I hate this. I'm homesick. I don't want to be here. And my dad just told me to toughen up. You got to toughen up and find out what you're made of here. And you know, the only thing I knew to get out of that was I just got to go to work.
Yeah.
And thank God for Luke Gorsett, Paul Batigliero, those two guys. Paul was an East Coast guy, New York City guy.
Sounds like a last name from
Paulie
the East Coast.
Batigliero, yeah,
My
little
gosh.
Italian Guido, little sawed-off guy. He was
Yeah.
like a Clemson, didn't get clearinghouse certified or something. He had a crazy story, so
Yeah.
he couldn't go Division I. So somehow this guy from Milford, Connecticut, you know, an hour outside of New York City, ends up in Garden City. Like, what are we doing?
How funny is
Yeah,
that?
and we got another guy on our team, Kenny Bowers. He's from, you know, upper Manhattan, Washington Heights, you know, Dominican area. He's a black guy in Garden City. Just like,
Right.
what am I doing? Never driven a car.
Yeah.
Just like,
I'm here.
how does he end up here?
I'm just here.
How do these guys end up,
Yeah.
right? And then thank God for Luke, man. He was the man. Luke the Duke Gorsett, you know, greatest hitter I ever played with, but maybe the greatest guy I ever played with. This guy took me under his wing. He's like, hey man, we hit every day after practice.
Wow.
We go do this every night. We stay here till like midnight every night, and we would go there for like 3 hours and just hit,
Yeah.
and hit, and hit, and hit. And then we get the rice buckets out. We had the little weights. We were doing the forearms.
Yeah.
We had a kid to get in the weight room. He got me into lifting weights. I mean, I lifted weights in high school, but it wasn't like this, man. It was
Right.
like and he just like, we're gonna do this every day. We're gonna do this for 365 days until we go off to summer ball. Every
Right.
day we're gonna do this until we
Wow.
get signed somewhere. And like this guy hit like 20 home runs his freshman year, so I was like, dude, I'm listening to this cat. He's
Yeah,
like a
for real.
400 hitter. So
Did you have a weight coach at Garden? Or
Didn't have
was
a weight
it just all
coach.
independent?
we lifted as a team, but like, how do I say this here? It was like the coaches had a system, and I don't know, like
They tried their best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and what kids don't understand now is like we didn't have the information we had back then. Like they're getting a hand-me-down program from like KU or somebody or
Right.
wherever they came from. So like, it's not. I always tell kids it's not what we do. It's how you do it at anything
Right.
you do in life, pretty much. I mean, are there better methods than others? Sure, there is. But you know, the best method's what? Just getting it done. You know, like when's the best time to plant a tree? Well, 10 years ago was.
Right.
Right. It's like do the work.
Right.
Water the ground. Right. So where your feet are at. So. You know, like the weights program was fine. You know, we didn't have a lot on speed training, any of that stuff, whatever. But yeah, it ended up being the best thing to happen to me. I turned it around. You know, one thing that kind of irked me off was Hutch Juco wouldn't offer me. It was the one school that didn't offer me. My dad actually coached there. They said they didn't want so many local guys. Was the reason why they didn't recruit me. And kind of what turned around my freshman year. You know, I had a decent fall season, but then when I really felt like I was good. Hit a grand slam off the score or over the scoreboard at Nebraska. We were playing at Nebraska, University of Nebraska. Hit that bomb there, man, and it was a grand slam against Hutch, and it was just like, man, it's like that moment where you feel like you belong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then everything else was smooth sailing after that. I mean, it was like 2 years of me just putting up big time numbers and getting a lot of offers, and so Garden City was great. Ended up going, signed with Purdue University. They gave me a really good scholarship. I took that. It's a great school.
Where is Purdue?
Indiana, northern Indiana, like an hour north of Indianapolis, about an hour and a half south of Chicago.
Compared to here, what's the difference of the coldness?
It's just the snow.
Because Indiana's
man.
flat, right?
Yeah, I mean,
They have a lot more snow though.
Yeah,
Not as much
like-
ice.
man, if I tell anybody with stuff with recruiting, it would be like look up and research what's going to happen at these places and like And like, know your coaching staff better.
You're talking about Mother Nature? Like,
Yeah, like they did a good job selling. They're like, hey, it's gonna be like Kansas. It's gonna be cold in the winter. You're gonna be just fine. It's not gonna be different. But it was different, man. Like, we had to practice inside every day till like April.
Right.
Because the snow's on the ground. They get this lake effect snow off Lake Michigan, and like the snow doesn't go away. There'll be days it'll be like 19 inches of snow, and like you won't see the ground for like another month.
And you got
because it just doesn't melt.
You got a game.
Well, like, facts here, man. We practice inside. It's like January, February. We're practicing inside for like, I don't know, every day. Like, and we would go at like midnight for practice because it was the indoor football facility.
Right. So you had to go
So
out
we would
to the
go
football
like,
team.
we'd go at 9 o'clock at night. We wouldn't even go at like 6 because like we'd have to share it.
Right.
The coach was like, we don't want that. We want the
Right.
facility
We gotta
shut
get
down for
our
us. So
things
we're
done.
going 9. It was like 8 or 9 p.m. till like midnight or 1 in the morning. That's when we practice.
Wow.
And then we'd get up for weights at 5 a.m. So and then we'd go to
insane.
class till like 11, and we'd sleep from like 11 to 3. We'd do like 2 hours of sleeping, like a 4-hour window, and then go to practice, do another 4-hour window, go to weights.
You're third shifters, basically.
Pretty much, man. It was crazy.
Holy
but
cow.
like it let us play inside. And the only people not getting work was our outfielders.
Right. No ball
Like
flight.
we go to University of Georgia. Like our first games, it's like you just feel unprepared, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, dude, how are we gonna win these games? Like we literally, that was the first time outfielders seen a fly ball.
Dude, they put me at Wichita State. They put me in right field for a scrimmage.
Yeah.
I lefty hitter, and I see a top spin, and I'm talking about embarrassing. Top spin. I think it's right at me.
Yeah.
And I like half dive.
Yeah.
Nose plant on the ground in front of me, and the guy gets a triple, and I'm like, and I'm just getting cursed out. And I'm like, dude, I've never played right field, so like seeing the top spin. I mean, just ball flight in general is. We need that, right? And that's why it's so important for getting ball flight for BP.
You see Duran in the clubhouse. You've been watching that on Netflix at all, man. Like those guys, players need to watch. Like it's just not as easy as it looks.
No,
like, you can't just put a second baseman out there, man.
No, and they put me out there, and I was like, this is a top spin thing, bro.
Foreign country to be out there, man. But yeah, so I ended up going to Purdue. I played summer ball in Alaska. I got real lucky. My JUCO coach got me up to Alaska. Coach Finnegan did, and
that league used to be lethal.
Yeah, we were seeing
That league
first
was
rounders,
different.
and that was another experience. It was just uncomfortable. It's like they may send you home, and like you got to produce. There was a lot of pressure. You're playing with guys going to. I had guys going to. I'm someone that doesn't belong. I'm a JUCO guy, and then we got guys going to. My teammates go to Tennessee, LSU. It's like, what is this kid doing? Garden City. What is that? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you already got that going. You got Long Beach State, Pepperdine, UCLA. These are your teammates, and then you're Garden City. So it's like, so you really got to you get there. It's like, man, I got to really put out. I got to show that I belong. It's like, and then another situation there where it's like, man, I just don't feel like I belong.
Right.
It's just really testing your doubt and your willpower. Can you finish this out here? And it was tough, man. The place I played at was under sea level. Wind blew in. There was a reason why they weren't getting hitters there.
Right.
There's a reason why they were looking for scrappy JUCO players because they couldn't get guys to go up there to play. And I got a concussion up there, but I ended up playing pretty well. By the end of the year, I was hot. We were like 6 games out of first place. We won that league. I got game-winning hit, ended up being first-team Alaska League. I mean, I was having advisors call me up. I didn't even know what to do on the phone. A lot of times I didn't even answer it or told them I wasn't interested. I didn't even tell my parents because I'm like, I don't even know if this is legal or not. Agents and stuff going on here. So, but I had a lot of confidence going in to Purdue. Played really well in the fall. Was like a top transfer guy at Purdue. Was going to be like all Big Ten transfer team. Like I was on some accolades in Baseball America, so I felt things were going great.
Yeah.
Kind of ran into some rough patches there. Got into the coaching staff a little bit. Some good learning points at Purdue in my career there.
So I wanted to ask you on the Purdue. Purdue was in what league?
We're in the Big Ten.
So who was in that league?
So you're talking like
time?
Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, Illinois, Iowa. So it's all the Big Ten, Northwestern.
Who was one of the best in that league at that time?
Oh, Michigan by far.
Really?
Michigan, Ohio State are the 2 best. I mean, they had all the big league guys. So I mean, we ended up having 4 or 5 big league guys at Purdue. But we were picked preseason like second in the Big Ten. We ended up taking second to last place. It was
really
yeah.
Was that culture? Like because there's definitely good teams that have lost locker rooms and you know what I mean. Charisma's gone and just different things like that.
Coach Schreiber was he's an acquired taste. He's a great coach, quiet guy, but like he ran a real tight ship. really like military type culture, and it's sometimes not the best fit for guys, and like especially when losing happens.
Right.
You know, I learned a lot out of that program as a player, but I learned a lot what not to do as a coach too, from that experience. It was just like they just grinded us in the ground, and they, you know, unfortunately he lost the team middle of the season, just kind of lost guys, and guys are quitting on it, and just a lot of dissension.
It's a tough spot to be for everybody.
It was toxic.
Yeah.
It was just toxic.
For coaches, for GMs, for players, for everybody.
Absolutely.
Admin, I mean, everything.
Yeah, and I loved that place. It was a great school, but it wasn't the right fit for me. And you know, I ended up leaving there. But you know, I wouldn't trade that year of experience now as a coach and just as a person. Some of the adversity I went through. You know, it's hard. Like I now understand. Like you play well and you get benched, it's out of your control. It's like how do you handle those things?
Right.
You know, it's like if it wasn't for Dr. Carr there, Dr. Carr was our sports psychologist. That guy kind of saved me, man. He kind of got me on the right path because I was not in a good place. I was coming out of a junior college where, you know, you get out of a Juco, you're kind of like a released prisoner. You got a lot of. I go from being a good suburban kid, so now I'm like I'm looking to fight everybody. Right. I'm looking to get into the coaches. I'm bullying the other team. Yeah. I'm just a loose cannon. And like Dr. Carr got me back. He's like he just got my mind back to like, hey, this game's about controlling what you can control, and that's even the lineup card. Like you're not in the lineup, it's not what in your control. The coach is making, you know, 6 figures to put the lineup card out. He wants to keep his job and making that kind of money. He's going to put you out there. If he wants to put you out there, if he doesn't, who cares?
Right.
And that was like a weight taken off my shoulder. That experience was when I finally took that approach. It's like, how can I just serve the team and be selfless and just give back to the team? And that's what Dr. Carr was trying to finally get through my skull. It's like, look, dude, just give back to the team. What can you give back to these guys? Right. And so I'd go down and catch bullpens, brought tons of energy off the bench. I was a pinch hitting machine for us. And if I didn't get any at bats, I didn't care. I was like, whatever. Like, I'll just do the best I can at this school. And I got the opportunity, you know, some things went, you know, haywire there with summer ball. My roommate ended up taking me out to Santa Barbara. And that was the second best thing to happen to me, man. It was like going out there, playing out there, getting a chance.
For the summer. So you started in Anchorage after Garden.
Yeah, yep.
And then you went to Purdue, and then you went to
Santa Barbara. Yep. So I thought I was going to go to the Cape. That didn't work out. My roommate's like, I'd like to own my roommate in like inter squads and fall ball, Groves. Yeah. He's like, dude, he was like an 8th round draft pick. So he's like, hey, man, you got to come out to Santa Barbara with me and play there. I was like, dude, I can't play on the Foresters, man. This team wins the NBC World Series like every year. They're loaded, dude. He's like, nah, you'll be fine. He's like, you rake, dude. He's like, you come out and play you come out and play. Those guys, most of those guys won't be there because they're going to be in the supers. They're going to be in regionals or super regionals. Right. College World Series. He's like, you'll be good for a couple weeks. He's like, if you show coach, you can. He's like, you rake like you do off me, man. They ain't going to take you out of the lineup. Right. So that was a player right there, just, you know, giving me some sugar right there and making me feel like I can do this. Wow. So I went out there, and I'll be honest, after we got done at Purdue, I'll never forget the last series. We were at Northwestern, and I didn't want to be on the travel list. I'm looking there like, don't let me travel there, man. I'm ready for this crap to be over with. Right. And so the season finishes up. I go home for like a week before I go out to Santa Barbara. My dad and I are working out, and I'm still kind of like, man, I don't even know if I want to play baseball. I'm like just kind of over it. You know, it's kind of not burned out, but just kind of like, man, just got a bad taste in my mouth. Yes. But got on that plane, landed in Santa Barbara. Never forget, they picked me up, and I'm in like flip-flops and like cargo shorts. My luggage got left there somehow. I didn't have my luggage. And they're like, hey, we're in practice right now. So I was like, all right, I'll go over with you guys because I can't do anything anyway. I don't know where to go. I don't have a host family and anything yet. So I was like, I guess they'll take care of me. So let's just go to the field. That's my sanctuary. It's my safe place. Let's go to the baseball field. So we go over to Caesar Usaka Stadium, UC Santa Barbara, get there, and Penner's like a dude you'd never meet, Coach Pentard, man, just the breath of fresh air, just the most positive guy, enthusiastic guy. He's dabbing me up, giving me hugs, and he's like, get a bat, dude, get in there. And I'm in like sandals. Right. I'm like, all right, I'll do it, right? Let's do this. Like not thinking if I hit a foul ball with my leg, I'd probably break my foot. Yeah. But got in there in sandals. I think I hit like 5 line drives to left field. And he's like, you're batting 3-hole tomorrow. We got a game the next day. And I batted 3-hole, never came out of the lineup. I think I had 5 RBIs in the first day. And the rest was history, man. I set the program single season RBI record there. No way. I was going to be over 400. I kind of slumped in the NBC a little bit, but I was like, I'm still like top 5 in hits there. You won? Did you guys win the NBC? We did not, man. We had a crazy good lineup. Seattle Studs beat us in the finals. What was crazy is we started off that season at Santa Barbara. We started off 25-0. I've never seen a collection of guys like we were not going to lose. Like we had these Summer Ball coaches get to pick their teams a lot of times, like who they're going to get, and you could just tell he picked guys who were just winners. Like we had a lot of guys from all over big time schools, but our biggest name guys weren't the best players on our team. Like they were like. It was the guys who were like the Michael Torres, like he didn't get to play at USC. He was really good.
Right.
He ends up transferring to Texas. He had the single season hit streak record at Texas, took him to the College World Series. He just got a bunch of winners. Like kids that were scrappy, grindy kids that just knew how to play baseball. And they didn't care who got the glory, man. It was just like we were just a meshed unit. Like we just wanted to win.
And we talk about the player prospect. He was a player.
Yeah, he wasn't a prospect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mikey wasn't a prospect, but it didn't matter to him, man. Mikey had a chip on his shoulder. Like Mikey Torres went to like Modern Day High School, and I'll never forget him telling me, he's like, man, I was so pissed off, man. They put Danny Espinoza at shortstop over me, man. They made me go to second in high school. I'm not a second baseman. I'm a shortstop. Well, he played second for us, but Danny Espinoza ended up playing like 10 years in the bigs for the Nationals, like a first-round draft pick. But that was Michael's, that was his mindset. He's like, I'm the best.
Right.
I don't care what other people think. Right. And just like that was what like that got into me, and it was just like we're never gonna be stopped, man. Like we had another guy on that team, Rebel Ridling, came from he's an Oklahoma State guy, went to a school with like 500 kids, like in the entire like district. Like it was like a 1A school. It'd be like a 1A school in Kansas, man. Like they didn't even have football, they had fall baseball. And this is just a good old country boy. His name was Rebel because his mom said they named him Rebel because he was a rebel when he was born. So she's like, oh, his name's gonna be Rebel. Like, yeah. So like he was just a good old country boy, man, and he was just a baller for us too. Like, so we had like all kinds. We had like Orange County guys. We had like country guys.
Yeah.
We just had a good collection of guys, but we all knew how to play baseball, man. We just wanted to win.
You played first the whole time?
Played first there the whole time. Started every game. Rebel was actually first baseman at Oklahoma State. They put him in left field. They tried me in the outfield like once. They're like, this ain't gonna work. So they're like, yeah, you're gonna be at first base. But we had some dudes on that team, man, and it's unfortunate because like we beat Maxim Yankees, they beat us in the first round, and then like Seattle Studs, we had those guys beat. We gave up a 3-run bomb in like the 8th or 9th inning of that game.
Was that when they had AstroTurf?
Lawrence Dumont had this stuff right here, man.
Really?
Yep.
With the dirt around the bags?
Dirt around the bags.
Always wanted to play on one of those.
Yeah.
Seriously, they're not a thing anymore. But I heard they're dangerous. I mean, they're literally sliding on this or diving on
spikes.
this.
Yeah. But that turf's hot, man. That turf.
Well, yeah.
When I was in Alaska, we got stuck in. We came down NBC when I was in Alaska, and that stuff's like, I'm not making this. It's probably 130 degrees. We had guys spikes melting.
You wore spikes on Astro?
Yeah, you wore spikes on that stuff. We had
I
guys.
was saying like Barry Sanders wearing like shoes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, he didn't have dirt. I don't know. We always wore spikes on that stuff, man.
Metal spikes.
Metal spikes.
On
I promise you.
AstroTurf.
Yeah, well, it's dirt on the pods, so you had to, you can't wear flats on that stuff. So, yeah, you wore.
But majority of the place is Astro. So how are you going to play in center field with?
Well, that was
spikes?
grass out there, but like no, you wore spikes. Like Creighton was all like turfed up like this. You wore spikes on it. You just did. Like that's why like now when kids are like, you can't wear spikes on the field turf, I'm like, what are we talking about? We've been wearing spikes on this stuff for years.
Yeah.
Like, this is bogus. So.
And you probably tear up more Astro than you would the turf
Dude,
they have now.
you would tear up your knees and your ankles on that stuff and your hips because you get stuck.
Right, that's what
you
I'm
get
saying.
stuck in the
you
ground.
can't slide.
Yeah, you don't slide, man. It's pretty gross. So it's pretty dangerous.
Did you ever play Team Japan?
Never played
NBC?
Team Japan.
I remember
no.
going there as a kid watching Team Japan play.
Yeah.
It was packed.
Yeah. No, never
It's
played
the coolest
them.
thing I've ever seen in my life at
Yeah.
the NBC was just this Team Japan coming in.
What was cool when I was in Santa Barbara, the coolest part about that experience, not only like Kenny, here's one, man. Kenny Williams, Kenny Williams Jr., he's a Wichita State guy. He was at University of Arizona. He transferred here, Wichita State, and his dad was the GM of the White Sox.
Wow.
So he's shipping out game bats. We're using
How
like
cool is
Paul
that?
Konerko's game bat, Scotty Paseknik.
Like Big League wood.
Big League wood.
Different wood.
Dude, I remember like I shouldn't have been swinging it. Like I should have stayed with my smaller, because I like a little smaller barrel, like an M110 or 271 or T141, those little smaller models, because I'm better with a smaller barrel bat. I'm more of just doubles guy. And I was like, man, I'm swinging. I can't turn down this Big League wood. And we're making like firewood left and right. We're just blowing these bats up. But it was his extra bats from they were like the World Series bats. Like they played in the World Series in I think it was 07. I think they were in the 07. I think they won the 07 World Series. And we got all their bats.
Wow.
Like Pasednik had a little pea shooter bats. Scotty Pods, he was this little outfielder, little fast outfielder, little slap hitter outfielder. We had his bats. We had Canerco. I'm trying to think. I use all the Canerco ones because that's the ones I could swing. But there's some other guys that's some bigger bats. And he got us Big Lee Wood.
Wow.
We ran through like 100 of those bats like within a
Wow.
month. It was like a month and they were gone. And he's like,
Couldn't get the head around a little bit.
Yeah, I was just seeing some decent arms too, so it's like, whatever. They're all maple, nobody's using birch or whatever, like we use now. So, yeah, so like I went to Santa Barbara, really did well there, and then, I'm looking to transfer, get out of Purdue and do something different, which was great because, Pintard had a lot of connections. I talked with, like San Diego State, USC was really on me, Fresno State, and then LMU. Those are like my big four. Like Irvine, I had a bunch of schools looking.
Yeah.
But it came down to money at the end of the day.
Right.
And so like LMU ended up being the best fit for me. And like Loyola Marymount was a great decision. Like I loved that place. I wish I could have gone to Fresno. They ended up winning the national title, but that didn't work out. But LMU, Coach Cruz, I'm a coach now, and I'm so thankful to have that guy as my coach. Like he was a grinder. He was not a nice guy. He's very cold to people, I'd almost say. But just a phenomenal coach. And we had Coach Gillespie, who was at USC. He won a national title at USC. He just passed away a few years ago. He's in the National Hall of Fame for college coaches.
That's pretty cool.
Phenomenal coach. And he ended up leaving like 2 weeks into that job there because he got the head job at UC Irvine. So, and
what was ULM conference?
LMU. We were in the West Coast
or
Conference.
LMU. I always.
You're good because you're Louisiana Monroe, man.
Yes.
You're good.
LMU.
Yeah. West Coast Conference. So.
Okay.
So back in my day, you got the Pac, so it was the Pac-10 back then,
right?
And that would have been like your powers like USC, UCLA, Stanford, Cal,
Oregon.
Well, Oregon didn't have a team at the time, but they were getting ready to have a team.
Oregon State
Oregon
State.
Oregon State, 2-time national champs.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you got Washington State.
Okay.
Too. And then you got the non-privates, the state schools or the California schools. So you got that's the Big West. That'd be like your Long Beach State, your Fullerton, Irvine,
Santa Barbara.
Those are all Big West schools.
Okay.
And then your privates are your Big West. So your Big West.
So LMU is private.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a Jesuit school out in West LA. So you got our rival would be Pepperdine. PCH Highway 1. That's our big rival. And then you got up in the Bay. Well, down south of us is University of San Diego, USD. Mm-hmm. And then up north, you got Santa Clara, St. Mary's,
San
Francisco. Yep, great team too.
Little Matt Chavez.
Yeah, Xavi. Man. Yeah, you need to get him on here, man, because Xavi will tell you some stories about USF's field, man. It's pretty wild, this place they play at.
He told me to look it up, and I was like,
it's
what?
unbelievable, man. It really is. So you got to check it out
Very
sometime. They got like 10 feet away is a dude's yard behind your dugout.
The
like
apartment or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's apartments all around it.
All around. They got nets all the way around this thing to keep the ball in play. It's wild, man. Like I remember we were calling pitches there. The catcher's here calling, he's in it, calling the signs, and like we know changeup because his forearm's shaking on changeups. We're like, dude, we're that close to the catcher.
Wow.
There's no on deck circle. Like it's literally like batter, dugout,
like a derby?
bench. You can't even
like
round.
A derby high school?
Closer.
Really?
You can't even round. You got to take it to first straight on.
And back then, did you guys have any
they had a fence,
coverage?
Yeah. They had a straight fence. It was like high school. It was like chain link, little league style there, man. Yeah. Yeah, but then you got Gonzaga and Portland up north. So it was a good conference. Man, the baseball out there was crazy. Like, I didn't understand, like, coming from the Midwest and then playing in the Big Ten. We played a lot of SEC teams in the Big Ten, which is, it was the conference. It still is today. But then you get out west and you're just like, holy smokes, man. It's like they don't recruit outside of LA. They don't recruit. Yeah. They recruit the Bay Area. And the walk-ons are crazy good. It was like these kids can all play. And then you think about it, it makes sense. It's like they got a ton of guys that are like former pros that just all live out there, and they're training, they're coaching all their kids. And I mean, every kid's got a major leaguer, ex-major leaguer that's their coach. Like, oh, this guy played in the big leagues. He was my high school coach. He was my little league coach. All three of our coaches played Division I baseball. So it's like, it makes sense. They all live out in that area. And then there's just a ton of people, and the weather's amazing. I mean, it's 70 degrees, and it's sunny every day.
All year.
It never rains.
Yeah, all year.
So it's like baseball year-round.
Yeah.
It's just in their blood. So, and then and I just learned the game out there is so much different. We played, the ball doesn't fly, pitching is supreme, and I don't know about today, so I don't speak about today, but the pitching was so much better. Like, and I'm not talking guys like throwing 95, 96. Like, when we face Oklahoma State, we face Auburn and the Alabamas and the Georgias and all this. Like we saw guys with stuff, but these guys may not have this elite stuff, but they command pitches. They set you up.
Right.
And the scouting reports are insane. Like I wish I would show our high school guys the detail and the depth of the scouts on guys. It's just like there's 5 coaches at every game. You all live within an hour. You know, all the schools are within an hour of each other. I mean, every school's got 3 or 4 coaches. And like their money's all going to baseball because, you know, like Fullerton didn't really have a big basketball program. Fullerton's good at what? They're good at baseball. They don't have football.
Right.
Like they're putting their money into baseball. Irvine's putting their money into baseball. Like Long Beach State's putting their money into baseball.
Right.
Like that's their call to their school. Their front door to their school is their baseball program getting on national TV on ESPN. So like they got like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 coaches maybe on staff, right? So coaches are at every one of your games, scouting your games, and it's just a different. It was basically professional baseball with a metal bat.
Right.
That's what it was. I mean, we're seeing a first rounder on Friday. Saturday guy is going to be a second rounder, maybe another first rounder, but it's probably a second rounder to 5th, 6th, 7th rounder, and then the Sunday guy is going to be drafted as well. You know, and then the Tuesday starter's a freshman that didn't sign. Was like a sandwich pick or something. Like I remember USD had a kid. He was like the 60th pick overall, and for some reason he didn't sign. It's like, this is their Tuesday guy. I'm like, what are we doing, man? He's throwing like 95 with a hammer from the right side. It's like, he went to college. It's like, what in the world? So, yeah, it was just different out there, man. So, but I appreciate that experience the most because not only did I get to experience high-level baseball, but it was just the practices. And Coach Schreiber at Purdue ran a great practice too. And my junior colleges were great, but Coach Cruz's detail to practice and just the scheme and just the way you play the game, it was just a consistency thing every single day. Like we would grind every day at practice. You know, we bunted extremely well. Small ball was so big out there. I mean, like the detail of picks and just plays that we ran. And then we'd inter squad for 3 hours. We do instruction work for 3 hours and then do your BP. And then we practice for 6, 7 hours a day.
Wow.
And I know a lot of guys don't like doing that and it gets old, but it's like, man, that's what baseball is, man. You want to play professional baseball. That's what you're doing, man.
Well,
it's
how
like
did you
you're
guys
getting that
finish?
dream.
How did you guys finish in that?
So we ended up
league?
being.
This is your senior year.
My senior year, yeah. So we started off really good. We got in the top 25. We won the Aztec Invitational Tournament. I remember we started off pretty well. Like we were above 500. We finally cracked the top 25. We beat we beat 2-time defending champ Oregon State. We beat them by like 10. We put it on those guys. Beat San Diego State, lost to Oklahoma State. Andrew Oliver pitched against us. He was a first rounder. I think we lost like 4-3. We had a pretty good game against him. And then we beat Blair, USD, the kid that was the freshman. It was like the 50th or 60th pick overall. We beat him. I careered out that day, Philly, at the school RBI record, single game RBI record that day.
Do you think you still hold it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was single game. It was like 6, I think it was 6 or 8 in that game. But I remember having
Against
2
that
double.
guy?
Yeah, we bounced him after the 5th.
Very good.
But yeah, it was that was a sweet day. But we ended up going 4-1. We won that tournament, and it was all the teams, all 5 teams were ranked. I think USD was like 4th or 5th in the nation. Like Oklahoma State was in the top 10. So it was like we started putting some people on notice, and we were playing really well in the midweeks. Like we were beating Irvine, USC. And then we just kind of hit a tumble, man. We got the league, and our pitching just didn't hold up. That was what really happened to us. Like we ended up having like 3 guys playing the big leagues off that team. Had a really good squad. We just didn't have enough on the mound at the end of the day, and we probably didn't swing it as well later in the year. Like we were hot really early in the year. Like I was really hot early in the year, and then I ended up fizzling out, going like 0 for 30 something at the end of my senior year, pressing really bad, and it just wasn't a good way to end my career.
Right.
But there's nothing to be like regret or nothing to hang your head on. It's just like it happens. It's like it's baseball.
Yeah, right.
And then once you get over that, once you break that, it's like, oh, why did that have to happen? But
Well, and the unfortunate thing is it just doesn't owe you anything, right? It's
Yeah.
like, this is just such an honest game and it can be brutal.
Yep.
Even
And-
though you've put in all the work and all the grind and all these different things, and it's like,
Yep. So like that experience was great, and then it's time like senior draft. I've talked to a lot of scouts, had the opportunity probably to sign prior to that year if I want to do with the Mets. Prior to even going out to LMU, said, hey, I'm going to go do college ball instead. And then, draft comes and goes, don't get my name called, don't get picked. And that was tough. And then you're talking to the scouts still, and they're like, yeah, we took this guy or we took that guy. So I was kind of discouraged, kind of like didn't even play that whole last summer. They wanted me to come out to Santa Barbara again. I just didn't feel right. I'm like, man, like some guy didn't do
for
that to
senior
me.
summer?
Yeah, and I just didn't feel right about that. I'm like, if somebody would have done that and from the previous year that didn't get drafted and they went out, that would have taken a spot away from me. It's like, I can't do that to a kid that's still chasing his dream.
Right.
So like I've had my time. So I kind of took off. I came back here. I'd play in we call it the Walter Johnson.
Right.
Play for like Park City Rangers a little bit here or there. And I worked at Hobart Detter and Hutch, just working on the fields. And then I actually got called in the Frontier League to play at the end of the season, but I couldn't go because I was enrolled in school finishing up. I was finishing up my degree at Wichita State. So then the next year they had me come out, did my independent experience out there in the Frontier League with the Southern Illinois Miners. That was good.
Yep.
Got cut. I only made it about a month there, but that was a great experience too. Man, it was crazy how much worse the pitching was.
Oh yeah.
Like I was shocked.
Yeah.
Like the arms weren't good.
Yeah.
Like I think they cut me and I was sitting over like 300. I was like hitting in the high threes, or not in the middle threes. It was like 330 or 340. But I'll never forget my roommate. It was crazy. We had an F4 tornado hit our town when we were out of town on a road trip. So we come back, like there's 2 light poles from the stadium laying in the parking lot. There's no power in this town. We're in this little town, Marion, Illinois. It's like 8,000 people, man. It's wild. And so it's like my roommate in the hotel was this guy named Jeremy Millions. So this guy's, he went to Juco in Alabama. And it was almost like the Lord sent this guy to like talk to me.
Right.
Because like 2 weeks later, like a week later, I get cut. But this guy sits down with me one night at a bar, and he's like, "Andy, you're a really good player." He's like, "Oh, I want to tell you this, you're gonna get cut." I'm like, "What? You're gonna get cut?" Like, Jeremy, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
I'm swinging. He's like, "Nah, you don't hit enough home runs. Like doubles don't cut it. Like they want the ball going out of the yard. Like it's 2008, man. It's like we hit the ball out of the yard. Like he's like, you're playing baseball in the wrong era. Like you should have been playing in the 70s or 80s. Like you're sweet. You got a sweet swing." He's like, you rake, but they're going to cut you, dude. You're not going to hit enough. You're not hitting enough power. He's like, I've seen this every year. I've been here every year. I've been doing this for 10 or 11 years. He played like 11 years of pro ball.
Wow.
He was a great dude. He was still like, they only let like they called them like legacy guys or like extended veterans on. Yeah.
Right.
So like he was like, dude, don't do what I'm doing, man. He's like, you could go get picked up somewhere else. You can go he's like, don't do it. He's like, just call it good. Go back home. You're a coach. He's like, you're coaching dudes on our team right now, man. He's like, go back home. That's your calling. You need to be a coach. Like, just hang it up. Go finish being it. He's like, I don't have a degree. I got no money. I blew all my signing bonus. He's like, I'm 31 years old, and I'm living in Marion, Illinois in a hotel with no power.
Right.
He's like, don't do this the rest of your life. He's like, you're in your early 20s. Like, go back, get your degree, go be a coach. Go help some kids out. Pay it forward in this game and help some other people out.
And so, with that being said, after pro ball, you did get cut.
Yeah.
Came here.
Yep.
Found your wife.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
You have your teaching degree.
Yep.
And you started at Newton.
Yep.
First thing was start at Newton. I heard that story about the getting into Newton.
Yep, with George.
Which is hilarious.
Yep.
With George, which you're still friends with, and now you coach with again.
Yep.
So you went 10 years at Newton?
So like I went 5. I wasn't married yet. I was actually in a relationship. I got engaged. I followed a girl up to Kansas City. We went up there. Didn't work out. I taught up in Mill Valley for a year. And then I came back, and I was coaching at the time, and I was always coaching baseball and basketball. Basketball was a huge passion of mine too. I just couldn't play, at the high level like I could in baseball. So I go up there, come back, came back to Newton for another 5 years, spent with George, and then I met my wife when I came back to Newton the second time. I was living in Wichita. My wife and I, we met, got married, and then Coach Jackson here at May South, we were real good friends on the basketball side. I was the head basketball coach. He got me, we talked, and we were having the twins. My wife and I were like, man, we can't do this anymore. I can't do this grind of being a basketball coach.
Right.
These kids. So Coach Jackson helped me get my foot in the door at May South and got a teaching job there.
Right.
And that's where, here we are now, you and me, man. Like, who would have thought, right?
It's hilarious. And I always saw you I was like, that's a tall first base coach.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And I remember you're very, I didn't know you, but I would watch you, and you were very detailed on certain things. You had a certain charisma about you at first. Like you were just locked in, always.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's this guy over here? And then eventually, it comes about it. It's like, hey, this guy's moving into May South.
Yeah.
Yada. Story carries on, and then now you're the head guy over there.
Yeah. And that's another story there too, man. So it's like the good Lord just puts, like I wasn't even intending to come be like a head coach ever again. I was like, man, I'm just happy being where I'm at, just serving kids and helping out, being in a great school, and just like I'll coach my kids growing up. And then Coach C, comes in last year and says, hey, Like, I want you to take over and keep this thing going. So
Yeah.
I was like, man, not only am I honored, but I'm like, I kind of feel a little pressure here, man. I was like, I got to do a great job. But he believed in me too, man. I really respect that about Coach C. He was like, no, you're the right man for this job. Like, you're going to do this. Like, you got the right mantra, the right mindset, and you're just going to like take it to a new level that it needs to go to. He's like, I've been waiting for somebody like you to come along.
And it all carries down to when you were 16, whether you were going to stay with it or you were not.
Yeah.
And now you've led to here.
Yeah.
Which have all these failures,
Yep.
right? And pushing through that threshold
Yep.
is what has made you who you are today because of all the failures.
Yep.
But you kept persevering through all these situations, right? Which again makes you such a charismatic coach. You have empathy, right?
Absolutely.
And you get the game, you get the failures,
Yep.
and you're inspiring to others.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why you're full circle.
And one guy I didn't touch on in Santa Barbara, and I got to put this guy in there. Gary Woods is a huge reason. I would say Gary Woods. You know, I tell you this whole story about myself, but I don't say one word about Gary. Gary Woods, he passed away a few years ago. Played 10 years in the big leagues. Nobody even knows who this guy was. He's a platoon outfielder, played with like the Cubs. I couldn't even tell you all the teams he played with. But he was our hitting coach in Santa Barbara. And this guy believed in me like I've never had somebody believe in me. It was insane. Mm-hmm. Like he would tell me, he's like, Andy, you're a major league hitter. I was like, Woodsy, I'm not a big league hitter. He's like, you're a major league hitter. He's like, I scout for a living. I watch swing after swing after swing. I watch guy trying to lift the ball out of the yard, And this is what you do. You hit a line drive the other way every time. He's like, we'll never take you out of the lineup. You're never coming out. He's like, you don't run well. Your arm doesn't work very well anymore. You got good feet up around first base. You got pretty soft hands. You actually move decent. Mm-hmm. He's like, but you hit. You hit, you hit, you hit. He's like, never lose that. And I think the biggest thing I took away from Woodsy, and not that, is you got to believe in kids. And like, there's nothing you can, like, your mind is so much powerful than any other tool. Like, you do a great job coaching guys, Wes, and teaching them how to hit. But if you can make a kid believe that he's the best player in the world, that's going to go much further than any swing mechanic you'll ever put into a kid. Right. I mean, it's great. We want to have better mechanics. But if you can get a kid to believe, they'll go through a wall for you. Right. They'll believe they're unstoppable. Right. Like, there's no way I have that year in Santa Barbara without a guy. Like, why am I hitting almost 400 with a wood bat against top-end college arms? I'm 3-0 hitter. The guy behind me signs for $2.5 million. The guy in front of me, or the other guy behind me is signing for like $2 million. Mm-hmm. I'm not even getting signed because Gary Woods believed in me, man. And he's a scout, and it was like a 10-year big leaguer. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this was life-changing, man. And like, I think the biggest thing I take away in what you're saying is like, you have to have these adversities, but you have to have other people believe in you in life.
And a lot of it was players. Which is insane.
Yeah, and Woodsy was a player too, man.
Cool.
Like, he's a big leaguer. I mean, he played 10 years in the bigs, and I like sit back and I think of this, and I'm like, man, as a coach, that's what I got to do more of with guys is like believe in them. Like, you don't want to like feed them with a line of garbage, and I don't think he was. Like, he wouldn't have just said that to a guy on our team that wasn't playing at all. But he was like, he could tell, like, I dealt with doubt. Like, scouts would come stand behind the cage, Wes, and they'd be there to see Devin Shepard and Kyle Russell, these guys high round draft picks, and there'd be 30 of them, and then I would hit. They would all get on their cell phones. They talk to one another. Right. And Woodsy's like, yeah, they're wrong. Right. He's like, these idiots don't watch real hitters. He's like, these guys are hitting the ball out of the yard, but then they're going to strike out 4 times a day, and you're not. You're going to hit 2 doubles. You're going to hit a single the other way. You're going to have a 7-pitch at bat. You're going to move a runner. They don't care about you, but you're a baseball player. And, like, I needed that kind of guy. It was like him and Dr. Carr, those guys that, like, you could talk to that wasn't just your mom and dad. You know what I mean? Because, your parents love you, but you need somebody else that's, like, pulling for you on the side. And I think as a coach, it's, like, our job. Like, we miss on that so much. Like, this game's what, like 60, 80% mental? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't work on it ever. I mean, we work on 90%, 99% of the time, what are we working on? Working on the physical tools the whole time. We don't work on their minds. We don't sit there and pull a kid over and say, you know what, you're going to be a really good player. Or you are a really good player, you know? And, like, I see you can do some really good things. You got to believe in yourself, man. And, like, that's the biggest takeaway I've taken as a coach. It's like the next step I got to take as a coach is, like, believing in kids more. Like, take what Gary did for me, Coach Woods did for me, and, like, put that into other kids, that belief.
Well, for instance, this whole story is amazing, and this is things that I haven't heard in a sense of depth. I would love to hear more on different things.
Oh, yeah.
On a future date, and we have one already, right?
Yeah.
So the story is amazing. Everything you've said is beautiful, and that's a lot of information for me. I know we've talked about stories and different things like that too, but I would love to have you back on and talk about other things as well.
Yeah.
This has been a beautiful time. I've actually learned a lot about you and about just the game and about myself as well. So, first of all, just beautiful, beautiful. I don't even know how to say it. Beautiful learning session for me. I'm just sitting here gauging and wrapping everything in my brain.
We didn't get into a lot of stuff there,
No, we
but I had to
didn't.
like kind of lay the story out.
Yeah, exactly. The story's there.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of failure, and a lot of kids see like, oh, he was a Division I player, he was a great player, and it's like, man, you pull the onion back a little bit. It's like, man, there was a lot of struggles in there, man. And like you've gone through that too.
Oh yeah.
And like, I can't encourage kids enough. It's like you got to take that risk. Like that was one thing my dad always said, like, go play at the next level. Go try to do it.
Yeah.
Like what's the worst thing gonna happen? They're gonna send you home?
But more importantly, it built your character.
Absolutely. Build your toughness, build your morale. Like I feel like without that adversity, what happens?
Nothing. In a way.
Like I'm not getting any better. Like
you're not getting any better, exactly.
no, and like I'm not helping anybody out, right?
Right.
So.
No, man, I appreciate you coming on. I promise you, we're gonna do this again, and we're gonna talk about a lot more.
You got a list there, I know. We'll get through it.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Seriously, absolutely.
Yep.
Andy Preston, y'all.